Mace. So let's go to this impromptu news conference where our Savannah Sapp is standing by with the latest. Savannah.
Well, Margot, I'm told by the sheriff's office and Logger's family that Dominic was potentially speaking to the people that he left his home with through an app called Discord. Amanda Logger, Dominic's mother, says she just wants to know that her son is safe. Now, I'm currently waiting for Sheriff Phil Sims to come in for a conference to give an update on this. But Logger was reported missing after he left his home in Grant early Sunday morning. The Marshall County Sheriff's Office says he was picked up by someone in a red Mini Cooper on Lakeview Circle. Amanda Logger says she woke up that morning to Dominic announcing he was leaving and headed towards that car with two people inside. She says when she attempted to get him back to their house, one of them sprayed her and her husband with bear mace. She was forced to run back to her home to call 911, and that's when Dominic left with the pair. He says his family says Logger has autism and is legally blind and is in danger without his medications. His mother has one message for parents after experiencing this.
We're doing a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. We should have paid better attention. And parents out there, I don't care if your children are autistic or not. Get their passwords, know who they're talking to, because this is something you never want to deal with, ever, I'm telling you.
Now, again, we are currently waiting for Sheriff Phil Sims to come in for this update on this case, but investigators are currently working to identify who Dominic left with that morning. Deputies say they are likely traveling north. We'll keep you up to date after this press conference, but for now, reporting live in Marshall County, Savannah Sapp, 48 on your side.
All right, we'll definitely go back to Savannah as soon as Sheriff Sims approaches our cameras, so stay tuned. Now, parole denied today for a former UAH professor convicted of killing his own wife.
This was Andrew Pahomov's first effort and an early release since his 2009 conviction. WAFF 48's Kelly Neese is live now for us in Decatur. Kelly, you spoke to the victim's daughter yesterday and again today after the parole board's decision.
Yes, Liz, Alexandra Zakin traveled to Montgomery today to oppose Pahomov's release. She gave a statement during the parole meeting today to hopefully keep him behind bars. Pahomov is currently serving 45 years at Red Eagle Correctional Center in Montgomery, where prisoners are allowed on work release. He was convicted of murder in 2009 after investigators say he strangled his wife, Yelena Zakin, in 2006. She was first reported missing, but her body was found 3 days later in the Tennessee River. Zakin's daughter, Alexandra Zakin, and I have been in contact since early yesterday morning. She told me yesterday she would continue to be the voice for her mother.
Emotional, very emotional. I miss my mom a lot, and you know, I'm here for her. I'm here to be her voice. I will be her voice. I have been her voice, and I will be her voice today, always.
Andrew Pahomov will not be eligible for another parole hearing until 2029. Reporting live in Decatur, Kelly Neese, 48 News on your side.
All new today at 4, a 7-year-old is injured after an ATV crash in Colbert County. Leaders with the Colbert County Sheriff's Office tell us that crash happened along Penny Lap Lane. That's just off Hog Pride Mountain Road. Deputies say the 7-year-old was flown to the hospital for treatment. Right now, no word on how badly that child was hurt. Investigators don't believe anyone else was injured. This is still a developing story. We'll keep you updated when we know more. Also at 4, the main suspect in a deadly shooting in Triana has been booked into the Madison County Jail. He's now facing capital murder charges for the deadly shooting near Swan Cut Road. That was on July the 2nd. Investigators say Jonathan Parkus was killed in that attack. Police say Renardo May took off from the scene, eventually ending up in Michigan. He was arrested by Michigan police last month. He's now being held without bond. A court date has yet to be set, but again, we'll keep you updated.
A Valley man is now facing charges after deputies say they found drugs in his home. Shannon Turner was arrested Sunday after Morgan County deputies discovered fentanyl and other dangerous drugs inside his Decatur home. He's now being held in the Morgan County jail on a $250,000 bond.
A Franklin County man is dead after a car crash outside Hodges. State troopers say 63-year-old Daniel Hicks was killed after the truck he was driving ran off the road and headed straight for a tree. Investigators say the crash happened along Alabama 187 near Marion County, just 3 miles south of Hodges. The cause of that crash is under investigation.
Well, it's quiet, it's hot, and we'll have the latest on Debbie coming up in just a few minutes, but it's still a tropical storm and continues to slowly crawl to the northeast, now only at 3 miles an hour. I think you can walk faster than that. Let's take a look at what's going on around here. No rain at all, but we do have changes in the weather coming, but they won't get here until the weekend. Right now, 93, we're all just kind of baking. Heat index around 100 to 103. That's to be expected this time of year, and we are going to see that again tomorrow and Friday as well. Actually, Thursday, too. I was a day ahead of myself. 99 in Scottsboro. It is hot. 97 degrees in Muscle Shoals. Here's your first pitch forecast out there. Birmingham Barons in town at Toyota Field tonight. Trash Pandas back home. 92 degrees at 6, 86 at 8. Overall, fairly nice into the evening, around 80 degrees. We're going to talk about a front coming in. It's technically a cold front for the weekend, but right now it's not all that cold, but it will bring a nice change. More on that coming up.
Looking forward to it. So all new at 4, a Colbert County couple will head to trial over their daughter's death. A Colbert County grand jury indicted these two on your screen, Amy and Christopher Malone. They're facing manslaughter charges after their 15-year-old daughter was found dead inside the basement of their New Bethel home last year. Investigators say her autopsy showed severe neglect. Colbert County Sheriff Eric Ballantyne says at the time the teen was living with a disability but had not been to a doctor in many years. The Malones are set to return to court on September 3rd. They're currently free on bond.
Also new at 4, an Alabama state senator is back home after an extensive stay at UAB Hospital. State Senator Garland Gudger has been inside the ICU for weeks following a jet ski accident on July the 4th. Gudger's wife posted on Instagram to update everyone on his progress. His wife says he suffered several injuries from broken ribs to fractured vertebrae, but the family is back home now as Senator Gudger continues to recover.
All right, now let's head to the campaign trail where Vice President Kamala Harris has officially picked her running mate.
Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for that position. The 60-year-old former educator is currently serving his second term as governor. Walz previously served 12 years in Congress representing a right-leaning rural district. Should probably read right-leaning rural district. He also served in the Army National Guard. Walz's biography says during his stint in office, he has strengthened voting rights in the state while still protecting reproductive freedom. This is interesting as the current governor has 2 children, both of whom were conceived through IVF treatments.
And today's announcement comes just hours before the current vice president and Governor Tim Walz make their first appearance as a team in Philadelphia. This is a live look out at the stage as they prepare to take that stage. This marks the first joint rally for the Harris campaign to gear up for other battleground states as they tour through this week. Now let's go out live to WAFF 48's Matthew King, who spoke to local leaders to learn their reactions. Matthew, Democratic leaders you spoke to all stand behind this decision.
Yeah, Margot, Bernard Simulton is the president of the Alabama NAACP, but also a delegate for the Democratic Party. He says right now they have a face and a name for both seats in that ticket, and he says that provides them some direction and unity in his party. Now, Simulton says he was originally loyal to the Biden-Harris ticket, but he says the party has since quickly moved on in order to rally together. Now, Simulton cited Walz's beliefs on economic policy, handling of the 2020 George Floyd protests, and appeal to white voters as a reason to support Vice President Harris's decision. He says while this decision likely won't change Alabama's vote in the final electoral college, he says it could encourage more neutral voters to vote blue.
He brings something to the ticket to help bring out potential, white voters, Southern white voters. He's a veteran, and so probably pick up some military. And he does have some experience in the House of Representatives for 12 years.
Well, in just the last month alone, lots of turnover there in the Democratic Party for that presidential ticket. Coming up at 5, I'll have his thoughts on this constant turnover. Reporting live in Huntsville, Matthew King, 48 on our side.
All right, thank you, Matthew. More schools are starting back tomorrow. Over in the Shoals, Carver County school officials spent the summer upgrading security equipment for when students head back. Superintendent Chris Hand says they received a $2 million grant in order to install all new door access controls and cameras inside the schools. Those cameras will be in all rooms in all school buildings. The system is made up of 8 different schools from one end of the county to another. Hand says that all this information could help with day-to-day activities or in severe emergencies.
In a case like this, we're able to built that into our platform, so we're able to upload that information to those first responders, and they actually know when they enter a building what a room looks like on the inside, whether the door is locked or not.
So Hand says he wants to make sure parents know that their students are safe in Colbert County.
If you're still searching for those last-minute school supplies, a Shoals organization is looking to help you out. The new Remnant Worship Center in Florence is hosting a supply giveaway this Saturday, happening from 4 until 7 at the church. It's located off County Road 47 in Florence. There will be a lot of supplies and backpacks as well as clothes up for grabs. This free event will also have games and food for the entire family.
Still ahead, the Rocket City in the spotlight. Aerospace and defense experts are in the valley today. Hear how local businesses are showcasing the latest in the industry coming up.
Plus, local first responders lending a helping hand to those impacted by Tropical Storm Debbie. Where this valley crew is heading to help next. This one is a big one for the Tennessee Valley. Maybe you've seen all the hardware, the ammo, and all the people headed to the VBC. Right now, defense experts are converging on the Rocket City for the Space and Missile Defense Conference Symposium. Defense and tech companies across the country are meeting at the VBC this week for this event. Throughout the week, experts will share their latest designs while teaching others about the new advances in the defense industry. We talked to Jay Town today, who is the Vice President and General Counsel for Gray Analytics. He says it's only natural that the Space and Missile Defense Symposium is held right here.
This really is the epicenter of our national defense in so many ways. Certainly our missile defense. We have the Missile Defense Agency here. We have Army Material Command here. So many other agencies out at the Redstone Arsenal with all the big box companies in Research Park. Gray Analytics is very proud to be a part of that sort of group of companies that are engaging in bolstering the protective posture in our national defense here in the country.
The SMDC Symposium every single year is a big deal, and it wraps up on Thursday.
Well, if you're itching to spend some time outside, this is for you. A 2-year hiking trail project in Madison County is finally finished. The brand new 3-mile hiking trail is now open on Green Mountain. It was all designed by the Land Trust of North Alabama. 200 people teamed up to help create it. If you're thinking about heading out, it's actually pretty challenging with an almost 700-foot elevation difference from one end to the other. Tom Barnett with the Land Trust says this trail will help everyone across the valley get out and enjoy Alabama's natural beauty.
Being out in the woods is something a lot of us really like, to get out, get away from the hustle and bustle of our regular lives and get out and enjoy nature. This is a really interesting area to hike through. A lot of large trees, large boulders. It's very nice.
So Barnett adds that this trail is not connected to the larger 5.5-mile trail at Green Mountain South. So if you're looking for a challenging but shorter route, check out the new trail over at Green Mountain. Now, a meeting to discuss 3 routes for a new overpass will take place in Sheffield this week. That meeting will be this Thursday from 4 until 6 p.m. at Sterling Boulevard Church of Christ. During this meeting, project leaders will go over how much the overpass will cost, the design, and the environmental impact. The proposed overpass will take drivers over the railways that run through the city. Leaders are encouraging the public to show up and ask some questions.
An easier way to pay your utility bill is on the way in Florence. The Drive-Through Utilities Payment Center will open Monday, August 19th. It can be found at 365 Seville Street. It will feature 5 lanes and a drop box. It will be open on weekdays from 8 until 5. Customer service will still be at City Hall, but the drive-through there will close on August 16th at noon. The U.S. Army Reserve Center in Sheffield has a new name. A dedication ceremony held on Saturday officially renamed that center after Sheffield native Colonel Cecil H. Bolton. He was drafted in 1942, saw action in Europe through World War II. In 1944, Bolton was seriously wounded while leading a 3-man assault. He was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Truman in 1945. Leaders in that community say his memory will always be alive in the Shoals.
All right, now let's take you back out to that breaking news in Marshall County.
Let's join 48 Savannah Sapp now as she meets with the sheriff, asks questions in the search for an 18-year-old missing special needs teen.
Okay.
Whenever you are ready.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank y'all for being here. Last several days, as you all know, we've been working a case of a runaway here in Marshall County, and we have been working diligently on locating the runaway and the individuals involved with transporting the runaway to out of state. What we can say today is Dominique Lager Grant has been located in Laconia, New Hampshire, is now in custody with the local police department. Also, we have made 2 arrests who are also in custody in New Hampshire, and I'm ready to give you their information now, if that's all right. First one will be a Reuben Addison Carruth, C-A-R-R-U-T-H, 19 years of age, from New Hampshire, being charged with interference with custody on 1 count. I have a bond set right now at $15,000. Second individual involved is Ava Mae Huff, H-O-U-G-H. That individual has been charged also with interference with custody, criminal use of defense spray on 2 counts, 2 victims on that on the chemical spray. So I want to say that we are very fortunate. We worked very hard to make sure we found Dominique. Dominique had autism to a certain degree, so we was really worried about that as the endangered part. Did not have his medication with him. We can say safe and sound, good health, good conditions, and arrangements have been made with the family to transport Dominique back home to his family.
Tell me a little bit about how tips may have helped you guys. I know this kind of went everywhere on social media, so can you talk about how that had an impact, or how tips may have had an impact on helping locate him?
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. This was good old-fashioned police work. Tips were not so much the tips, but it was just taking leads that we pieced together from the information from the devices that we found, information that was relayed to us by the family, and we're able to piece things together, and then also just good old-fashioned police work where debit card was used a few times to help track movement. So that's basically what it entailed. It took time to pull this information all together because they left, here in Alabama and went all the way to New Hampshire. So trying to that's a large area to cover, and the circumstances of the case were just not what you would normally see. So my guys worked very hard, very diligent. They did not take time off to do anything else. They worked on this case, did a very excellent job. Everyone here involved in getting a resolution of this.
Could these 2 face federal charges because this happened across state lines?
Well, we will certainly talk with our federal partners and see who, if that is available or not, but it'll be entirely up to them. Right now, we're going to concentrate on state charges. I like to also thank our juvenile probation here in Marshall County. They were instrumental in coordinating with New Hampshire on making arrangements for Dominique to be brought back to Alabama.
Can you confirm that they were communicating with each other online for a period of time in leading up to this event?
Yes, I can say that there was a connection made through an online app or gaming device. That's kind of where the connection with the relationship, I guess you could say, took place.
Do we know why this happened, why he went with them, or is that still kind of up for?
That's still kind of up for right now, but we do believe it was a mutual decision, mutual relationship, not one of a sexual nature. We believe it's just one of boyfriend, girlfriend type stuff.
I have a question. How does the teen's autism filter into the criminal charges that may be placed for the other 2?
The autism itself, it doesn't really filter in so much to the charge of interference with custody. The mother had legal custody of Dominique because of the autism. So if there is, it'd be because of that.
Let's talk extradition for these 2 people that were arrested in New Hampshire. They're still there right now? You going to get them? What's going on?
Yeah, they're still there right now. We'll work through the extradition process. They're in custody there now. The extradition process will take a few days to work through.
But they will be in the Marshall County Jail because they're over the age of 18, right?
They are adults. They're both 19. So they will be charged, and eventually they will work their way back here at some point in time. But like I said, the extradition from another state, we just have to work through that with them.
Any word on if Dominic went peacefully with officers, or if there was?
Not any time was she or he was in any kind of danger, as far as physical danger or anything like that. Well, I can verify that. It was more of a mutual consent, friendship developed type thing. This was not a come pick you up for sexual gratification type thing. This was just a mutual, hey, we made friends, we made contact and developed a relationship online, and they left as friends. So we don't have any indication that there was a molestation or anything like that taking place.
Just kind of overall thoughts on people coming into the county and, blatantly harming his Dominic's parents, in order to get him. Just kind of talk about the weight of that situation and how that's going to be dealt with.
As far as what?
The bear spray or the chemical spray.
Well, they're going to be charged with the chemical spray and for discharging the chemical spray during, while they were there to pick Dominic up. That is a felony in this instance. So they'll be accountable for that. But it was not used in a forcible way. It was forcible. It was not used as a kidnapping or as a abduction type thing. This was with a miscommunication. Okay, let me go back and say, not really a miscommunication, but there was an incident of an altercation that took place where he wanted to leave willingly, and they did not want him to leave. And then they jumped in and then made the decision to use chemical spray, which they should not have done. But it was not an abduction. It was not a kidnapping.
Gotcha. Any just overall reaction to the event itself and the investigation into bringing him home?
I'm just glad it's over with. We're relieved that everybody's safe and everybody's in a good condition, and we're glad that Dominic will be coming home.
Can you clarify, this might not be your area, but can you clarify his mental function? Is he mentally a 12-year-old like his parents are saying, or can you just, if not, that's fine.
Well, I can't confirm what level. All I know is that he does have a level of autism, but I can't confirm what that level is. Like I said, he developed a relationship with an individual online through an app gaming process. So, whatever that level is, at least that level.
Okay. I don't think I have anything, Julia.
Unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
Yeah, anything that you think we missed, anything.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you all for coming.
And there you have it, Sheriff Sims briefing the media on exactly the status of 18-year-old Dominique Logger. He has been found. 2 people have been arrested after a relationship had developed online through a gaming system. They took him from Marshall County all the way to New Hampshire in 24 hours. They now are in jail.
That's 2 days. From Sunday morning, 3:30 a.m., this incident happens where his family's telling him to come back inside, and there's a use of bear mace on his mother and father. So 2 people now in custody. He will be brought back to Alabama. Those other 2 now charged, one with interference with custody, the other with that use of defense spray, and according to the sheriff, that's a felony. So they will be extradited here to Alabama to face those charges. The backstory to all of this is the concern for parents that you have a child who's autistic, you have a child who needs medication. He leaves. This is considered a runaway because he's 18 years old. He leaves, but all of these circumstances play into his safety, and that's why that missing and endangered person alert was issued late last night.
And the sheriff clarifying this was not an abduction, not a kidnapping, but certainly a lesson, a tough lesson for a lot of parents with special needs children about the need to legally have some kind of paperwork that she did have legal custody of him, but what does that mean? Exactly.
When they're an adult.
Exactly. Yeah. He's an adult, all of this. So we will be following up on this story as the news continues to develop. But in the end, he is alive and he is well and he is headed back to his home in Alabama.
Let's send it over to Brad.
Now, your first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis.
No rain, but we've got issues on the roads. It's 565 eastbound from the Parkway. We have an eastbound accident. We also have a westbound accident farther up the road. So again, things slowing down out there. It's still hot, 93 degrees there. There's been a bit of a breeze the last few days, and it's going to get breezier as we get on into the weekend because we have a front coming in. That combined with the tropical storm off the East Coast, Debbie, is going to increase the wind around here, but it's really not going to increase our chance of rain much at all. We start off with a calm wind tomorrow morning. Still very muggy out there. Temperatures low 70s, upper 60s, dew points in the upper 60s. So just soupy out there, so to speak. And we're going to go again Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be very similar. As we get past 11:30 tomorrow, model guidance kind of going back on what we had yesterday. A couple of these very isolated rogue showers up here and around Fayetteville, Timms Ford Lake. Wouldn't be surprised if we see that in the higher terrain as you go up Sand Mountain, Brindley Mountain, and Lookout Mountain either. But overall, it looks like another very dry day tomorrow. Highs probably a little bit warmer than what you see here. I think we're going to get about 95, maybe 97 degrees. Heat index around 103. So stay hydrated out there. You know the drill by now, right? Here's a look at the rainfall through Friday, and it's all centered around the tropical storm. And this storm is actually going to get stronger again. It's forecast to increase the wind speed to about 50, maybe 55 miles per hour before another landfall just to the south of Myrtle Beach. And then it just kind of drifts up here in around Raleigh. See the time frame here. We go from Wednesday. It's moving east-northeast at 3 miles an hour. So this is what us meteorologists have been talking about all week. Potential for historic flooding here in the Carolinas, from Savannah, Georgia, all the way into the Carolinas. And then on the backside, I show these arrows here. The wind's going to be increasing out of the north as we get late Friday into Saturday. Right now, the closest cloud cover is to us is over here just off to the east of Scottsboro, by about 75 miles, and most of these clouds won't make it. They're dropping to the south. So rain chances very, very low, 5% or less. We're talking 20% Friday and Saturday, isolated showers and storms, but it's going to be one of those fronts that moves in and really doesn't produce a whole lot of rain. Trash Panda's in town today and all the way through Sunday. The best weather is actually going to be Saturday into Sunday. Breezy Saturday, as I mentioned, the front's coming in, 88 for the high. How about 86 Sunday? 62 perhaps Sunday morning, maybe 59 Monday morning. So kind of a squeeze of fall here, but we all know it's false fall, if anything. This isn't even our first big taste of fall yet, although some of you will be getting out the pumpkin spice after that.
59. Woo! Sounds good. We'll take it. Thank you, Brad, and thank you so much for joining us on this streaming version of WAFF 48 News at 4. To stay in the know, check out our coverage on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and of course YouTube.
And you can always find the latest on WAFF.com and the 48 News app. We'll see you back right here coming up at 5. We hope you have a good night.
See you in 30.